All right, well, thank you for coming. This is Collaboration Cubed. I'm Kelsey.
And I'm Jen Smith. We both teach at York Tech. We saw that next door is how to be awesome. We did not include, we are also going to tell you how to be awesome.
Yeah.
Later. So you're learning collaboration
Just
and how to
saying.
be awesome. So thanks for coming over to our session. Yeah. But our goal, our objective is to encourage you guys to collaborate, which can be a scary thing. So we really just want to encourage you, tell you about kind of our journey, how we got there, and encourage you to take the leap as well. And
Yeah.
also to be awesome.
So we are just kind of curious because we want to get a feel for you guys. So if you guys can just raise your hand, how many of you are tech teachers? Okay, and academic teachers. Okay,
It's a good split.
cool.
Yeah.
All right, so we just want to take a minute real quick and just have you guys think a little bit about collaboration, and you guys can do this out loud with the people around you, or I always forget about this now. If you know about Go Formative, it's basically like you just put in the code and you can participate. So we'll put this up here if you guys want to participate through your phone or computer. The code's up top there. WNZVME.
Or you can just think about it, we'll talk about it. If you're not comfortable doing the Go Formative, that's okay too.
Yeah, we're good
It's
with
a neat way
anything.
to collect responses from students. You can use Nearpod or Go Formative. They type in the code and they can see what we're doing and respond with the answers. We can see how they responded. So
Yeah.
it's pretty neat to do that way.
So you just go to goformative.com, and in the top it'll view differently for you guys. In the top it'll say join or put a code in or something like that, and that's where you put that code in.
Does anybody want to share their thoughts, as if some of you are typing in, anybody want to share their thoughts about collaboration, if it's been positive or negative? I'm going to share my honest experience with collaboration in a second, but does anybody want to share their thoughts, their previous experiences?
Yeah, I mean, yes, we're not a huge school. I think we have 17 teachers altogether. So we collaborate a lot, and we have in-services every Wednesday afternoon, just kind of like a scheduling thing. And so I mean, we all like to collaborate, and people help each other. You know, it takes all the stress away for the most part, you know, about feeling isolated. Yeah.
Nice. We could love it.
I was a teacher and an administrator, and my collaboration was a little different because I was a printing teacher and there were no other printing teachers in the school.
Right.
But I got to go to other schools to work with other printing teachers, which was very helpful. And then when I got into administration, that was something I always tried to do with all my staff, was to get, especially the new people, to get them to go to other schools, talk with other people. Usually they came home and came back with really good ideas and felt better about what they were doing. And I said, you know, it was always a win-win, because sometimes they came back and said, oh, the grass isn't always greener on the other side. We got pretty good here. So it's been a pretty positive experience for me.
Good. That's good. You're ahead of me.
Does anybody want to share any negative experiences? Go ahead.
Collaboration means everybody's having input. When there's someone in the group who thinks collaboration, let me come go do all my work. Then you have a negative experience.
Yes.
Exactly.
That's not
Yeah.
collaborating.
Exactly.
You're more along the lines of my experience. Yes. Yes. I feel you, without a doubt. So for me, the early years, when I would talk about collaboration, I would call them torture, quite honestly. I'd hear that we would have to go to collaboration sessions, and it was like, oh, no. Because you would experience the leech. The person who pretty much thought it was the free pass, I don't have to do anything. Sometimes you would get stuck in a situation where there's a gap. You are on one side where you love technology and you're really into it and you know, interactive in the classroom, and then you get paired with somebody who wants to bust out the old transparency and not change anything, and they're like, okay, we'll collaborate. Okay, right? So the gap is just too big. Or you make this really awesome, you get a transparency and you've been up all night, you've created this like 21st century collaborative, authentic performance-based learning, and the trade is a transparency for that. So it's really difficult. Or somebody who has the 99-1 split, where you do it all and they'll be like,
Yeah.
here's a paper. Or the copier thief, the sneaky person who just like takes a copy of what you do. And that's collaborating.
Or again, where you're like making something and then you have a person that makes a copy out of one of like the supplement books that the textbook gives you anyway. And they're like,
That's
here you
fair.
go. Ah, that doesn't really. So needless to say, Jen's pretty angry about all
Yeah,
that.
I was, yes, I definitely, and that's why we're telling you, because I definitely was like no collaboration, I don't want to do this anymore. I was a bit of a hoarder, I'll be honest, because I had been burned in collaboration. I was afraid, what if they don't use my stuff the right way? And then a principal sees it, well, Jen made that. Or what if my stuff's not that great, and I think it is, and then people are gonna be like, look at her stuff, that's terrible. And why am I doing their job? And I don't have time for this, that was my biggest thing. Oh gosh, it takes too long, I can't take the time to do this. When am I gonna find the time to do this? And my tune definitely has changed. So I just want to share with you honestly, that's how much of a skeptic I was. And now I'm like collaboration queen. I love it. Talk about it in grad classes and everything. So that was me.
Even more angry.
Yeah, yeah.
When I met her, it was not a good experience.
Collaboration was not.
So again, we're just gonna have you guys think, and again, if you want to participate on the Go Formative, you can. The question was up there. Or if you guys just want to talk out loud again. So what type of role do you typically play when you collaborate? Or maybe you could even just think, internally, like, I tend to be the person that doesn't really hold up my end. Or I tend to be the 99% of the work. And do you actively contribute or sit back and listen? So we have collaboration days. So on those collaboration days, like, I don't know, do you guys have those type of days where you meet with people in your tech area or
Set
academic
times or
area?
set days.
So like if on those days, like are you actively participating or are you just kind of like hanging back and just kind of letting it take
Sitting
place?
through, enduring, like I used to. How many of you are active collaborators now? It sounds like many of you are. Okay, that's fantastic.
That's awesome.
Yeah, hopefully you'll be agents of change in your buildings.
I'll just switch over.
Oh,
Thank you, Heather.
Heather's
Awesome.
Yeah, and I will say one of the jump starts we got collaborating is that Kelsey and Mark, who are in our groups, they student taught with me. So it instantly broke some barriers down that over the years we knew each other, and that was a huge help for us.
And I think personally this is a big one. Like how you interact depending on the people in your group. So like you wanna, like depending on how you interacted in the very beginning.
Yeah, I mean, definitely in the beginning I would sort of shut down because I got tired of always giving my stuff. So when I got with the leeches, I'd just be like, nope, I would ignore them and not give. And now that I have two people in my group who also collaborate, I'm much more, willing to share stuff and go out on a limb.
Mhm. Do you guys have anything to add? Thoughts?
Concur.
All right, so obviously, why should you collaborate? But seeing that most of you are already doing this, that's awesome. So, but hopefully we're not gonna make you zone out. We really wanna encourage you to stay focused because this really is a great thing. Like, I can't stress that enough. So collaboration obviously will change your life. Definitely changed Jen's, I think.
Mhm.
And mine, I've never known anything else. Like, I've been collaborating since the day I got hired. So I've never known anything else, so I wouldn't know how to act, honestly, if I didn't have a collaboration group. And it definitely makes for authentic learning experience. Our items that we're giving out to the kids have much greater value, they have meaning, and then we're all kind of thrown in there because we definitely all have our strengths and weaknesses. So we know who has the strengths of what, who has the weaknesses of what, and we play off that and tailor our stuff to that. And again, incorporating a lot of variety, resources, technology. So again, playing off our strengths. Yeah, sure.
All your technology departments get together, whether it's IT, printing, is it like everybody is a
Go
team,
ahead.
or is it just like the IT staff?
We collaborate on many different levels. Through the years, part of it's been structured by admin and some of it's just been kind of informal. Like I'll tell you, I work a lot with the diesel teacher. Admin probably doesn't even know, but I help him set up his notes, and he's a new instructor, new teacher, so we're constantly working between academic and a technical area. Each of us, we have academies, which we're maybe loosening up on a little bit, but the academic or the technical teachers in each academy, like the Mantran Academy, the EC Academy, the IT Pathway, and AH, they all collaborate. It's some of everything. Sometimes we collaborate with all of the surrounding tech schools. And so we'll meet by program. So the criminal justice teachers will meet and the early childhood teachers will meet. So it has many different faces. And each program's different. Some programs are much more collaborative and some are just not really ready to take that leap yet.
Yeah.
So it's almost program by program.
So you'll take like your math classes, your math instructors, your English instructors, you guys all just get together and
It's most of the time by department. But the beginning of the year, we started doing a little bit of different stuff where like admin would kind of come to teachers that are really have a certain strength, and they present it at the beginning of the year. So
And we work a lot.
It's getting
we're
there.
social studies, so we work a lot with English. We're going to show you that. So we're constantly jumping and doing
Yeah.
different things.
Yeah.
But a lot of it has become informal because the tone of the building has changed. So there are a lot of
yeah,
informal collaboration sessions happening all the time. Like for us, we are constantly calling and asking and meeting, and
yeah.
and I think that that's happening in other parts as well.
So you're comprehensive?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
are comprehensive. So we're going to tell you about us as academics, but it applies to technical areas.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
same. You totally can apply the same principles. And the biggest thing is changing that culture, and that was tough for us because I was mobile about it, quite honestly. Yeah. I'm completely honest.
So again, this is just still like all the
Yeah.
positives to collaboration, improving your resources, your rigor, differentiation, enhancing your curriculum, making class more fun. So again, there's just no downside. So hopefully we're converting if anybody doesn't really like do it and has their arm kind of pulled out at this point. Hopefully we're converting you. And if not, work
We'll
with
keep trying.
us.
Yeah.
We'll convert you.
Yeah. It's much easier to differentiate and meet all learning styles too. Because we'll show you the phases we went through, but now that we truly collaborate and we all have a hand in pretty much everything we do, everything just by nature has a little piece of everybody in the different styles embedded. So it just makes it much, much easier and much more engaging for the kids.
Yeah. So just a couple of thoughts real quick. So if we seek and welcome significant change, it will lead to greater innovation and impactful collaboration. So, and we just wanted to really focus and hone in on the welcome. Like if you allow it, if you open your arms to it almost, like you have to be willing. And again, some people like me, I'm more than willing to open my arms because I haven't been jaded. But if you haven't been, it makes it more difficult. But once
you have to be
do,
welcome.
yeah. And then this is just a quote that I found from one of my textbooks, but I love this quote. Collaboration is no longer just a nice thing to do. It is a strategic necessity for generating items of greater value.
It's a common theme in all of our grad classes. I had one on action research, and it was in even the action research materials. You have to collaborate and how it's critical at this point.
Mm-hmm. And I think we do kind of want to add in, like, for a lot of people that don't really want to collaborate, it's hard to quantify and see like that it's actually something good is actually happening. Like people want to see like an instant result to know that, like, to confirm what they're
Data or
doing. Yeah,
something.
and it is hard
it's
to.
intangible, a lot of it.
Yeah. All right, so we're just gonna kind of introduce you to us a little bit. That way you can kind of know where we're coming from too. So, Jen, I'm gonna introduce Jen
This
here.
is very important for me. We wrote these about each other.
Yes, I wrote this about Jen, so she doesn't really know or like maybe what's over here, but I don't really care. So TFL means Techer for Life. So she's already
Joke
put
about me
in.
at school, the Techer for Life.
She's already put in 15 years at Tech, and I'm sure she'll retire from there, which is awesome because she's very dedicated to our school. I personally think Jen is good at everything, but if I had to pick a couple of things, she's definitely the content pro. If there's anything I'm not sure of when it comes to history, I go to Jen. So, but that also being said, Jen loves to put everything in our notes.
I'm like, no, we can't take it out. It's
Yes.
all important. We have to know everything. Everything's
So
important.
that was
Yeah.
definitely like her strength, but also
My
her
weakness.
weakness, because I was like, Jen, we gotta like take
No.
these 14-page notes down to like 2. Okay, you're killing us. So definitely the optimist, really good at formatting, organizing our stuff, and then the type of learner she is. And then we just kind of listed the side stuff over here is just what we're involved in, what we're doing in our lives, just to again reiterate that time, everybody has stuff going on, but you need to make time for
Yes.
this.
We're all
And you
stretched
can.
super thin.
Yeah.
Could I just ask you, the HUB and V2,
Oh.
what they are?
The hub is something that another teacher and I started. It started with Cinderella's Closet collecting dresses, and it's turned into this resource room where kids come. We connect them with Goodwill and local services. We have a clothing bank, a food bank. We have, so it's no questions asked.
Mhm.
So we come and we can point them in the right direction, local food pantries. The Bell Shelter's big around us, like Pat. So we're going to present on that next year, just Becky, Love, and I.
And the
So it's
V2.
Students helping each other. We got your back. That's what that is.
Okay.
And the V2 is actually in the next presentation.
Yeah.
She's talking about that.
Karen's in the back. She's going to do part 2.
Okay.
How that actually
Yeah.
Go ahead, Jen.
And then there's Kelsey, who was my student teacher. She's super creative. I know. And Mark was my other student teacher. It's hysterical, but she's ultra creative. I like to say she thinks outside the box, and then she'll like think outside of that box too. My brain does not work that way, so I envy it. She's constantly thinking of new, exciting, creative things. And then sometimes we can help kind of tease out how that will look in the class. She's the technology Khaleesi, which is Game of Thrones queen. She's a queen.
Thank you.
She watched Game of Thrones. And she'll try anything. I can come up with the weirdest harebrained thing, and I'm like, hey, Kelsey, what do you think? And she's like, okay. And she'll somehow figure out a way to make it work. And she's a visual and auditory learner.
This is another Game of Thrones reference. Mother of dogs. Some people are with me. So this is our cubed Mark. And he just couldn't participate today, but so I obviously feel like he brings the testosterone to our group.
We need him to balance us.
But he's definitely a critical thinking mastermind. Like, he's always the one like, okay, we have this, but how do we just like up it even more and up it even more? So definitely brings that part into our team. Reiterates and drives home some important concepts and skills. Professionalism is definitely a big thing for him. He's part of the V2 group, which Karen's going to talk about, so he's definitely always promoting that kind of stuff.
He's a baseball coach, and he's totally revamped our baseball program for like character and everything, so it's embedded in everything he does, professionalism. And he's a kinesthetic learner.
Mm-hmm.
So we have a really unique team with unique skill sets. We got super duper lucky. That's us.
Obviously.
The sister team.
So the A team is born, and
we became
actually,
great friends.
yeah,
That's at Mark's
became
wedding.
friends.
We're out there hanging out.
All right, so this is where we really want you guys to be doing a lot of, I want to say self-evaluating, reflection.
Yeah.
So the first phase that we felt, so when Jen and I first met, we did a lot of, and Mark, we did a lot of like, all right, so we have this chapter in the textbook, and there's 4 lessons in it. So Jen, you're gonna do lesson 1, I'm gonna do lesson 2, and we're just gonna break it up like that. And you're responsible for, making the notes for lesson 1, the supplements, anything else we would do, and then we would just dictate like who's gonna do the quiz, exam, that kind of
And
stuff.
share, and we'd share it out.
Right.
It's very much divide and conquer.
Good, Jen.
So we would, things like vocab quizzes, we would take turns uploading them to Schoology, things that we probably wouldn't have had time necessarily to do. So you'd upload those, you write the vocab quiz, I'll do the study guide, we'll look at the, here's the test.
So, and again, it's amazing, right? I mean, I'm doing less work, like we're splitting it
I'm
up.
embarrassed to show you some of this stuff.
Yeah.
This stuff's so much better.
But-
So this is like the shameful vocab quiz that we did.
Yes,
Because
totally,
it was
like,
just matching, but.
yeah.
And Kelsey made a set of notes on the rise of industry. It was really cool because it was like, oh, neat, I don't have to do this. It's made for me. That's spectacular.
So, with that being said, we're gonna have you guys do a little something real quick. So you have 3 Post-it notes in front of you. You're going to pick one from those 3 Post-it notes, and we want you to make this shape.
You can fold it, you can cut it, you can tear it, whatever you want to do. You just have to make that shape. Yeah. Oh, sorry. Up here in the corner. We kicked this around.
The
kind of
triangle.
We didn't have 60 pairs of scissors for something, so we had to go with Post-it notes you fold. But it was the only way we could figure it out.
All right, so we're gonna have you guys find 5 people.
Don't do anything with your thing you folded. Leave it
Yeah.
exactly like it is.
Don't touch it. Just
Don't touch it.
5 people, and you're gonna put your shapes together to make a star.
Because we divided, we separated it. So go make a star with your pieces.
We're just gonna go around here and have you guys hold up your stars. So you guys in the back, if you can. Nice.
Nice.
Very
nice.
How about you guys in the back?
Oh, they're constructing.
Steve,
Dedication. They did. They had some extra parts. Nice.
All right.
Okay, another
There
star.
you go.
Ours is still.
All right, nice.
Very nice. They all have points. That's good.
All right, so what we really want to try to like point in on is like you each had a goal, right? You each had this goal of making this shape, and you made it. It's not that yours was, was bad. You made your shape, but when it came together, it was kind of like you didn't really, there was no objective in mind. There was no goal that everybody was set to work on. So it came together, but
You had a
Wasn't
star.
pretty.
Yeah, it wasn't pretty, right?
All right, so we're just gonna kind of break this down a little bit further. So the good, again, is like, you know, you're working on it, you're breaking it apart, so less things for you to do. So saving time, all kids experience a part of somebody on the team. So again, you're playing off your strengths. And the good, or the bad, I'm sorry, obviously, is that, what am I supposed to do with this? Like oftentimes Mark, the other member of our team, is extremely different than me and Jen. Jen and I are kind of similar in ways. But Mark is very different. So when I would get something from Mark, I would look at it and be like, I have no idea.
Mark can teach for 45 minutes and be like, well, this is 3 minutes, we're done. Like,
Yeah,
What do we
exactly.
do now? How do we use this?
So no idea what I was doing with a lot of his materials. So true collaboration, obviously.
At the time, it was awesome. We were like, this is actually like pretty cool.
Helping,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's helping. But you can see from your stars, we weren't really giving the kids like one cohesive unit, one cohesive thing. It was jagged and everybody's kind of like doing their own thing. So for phase 2, that's when we kind of transitioned. And we were starting to realize, like, wait a second, this isn't torture. I like this. This is actually kind of fun, right? It's not the best, but we're getting better. Our stuff is starting to get better. It's when we started to upgrade. So we would actually start to tweak some of the things we were doing. Some examples. This is a crash course. We use them in history a lot. They're cool. They're just real quick. They happen for different subjects. So in the beginning, Kelsey made this set of crash course questions, which was cool because then I had them and I didn't have to make them. But in phase 2 then, I took it off the S drive, and we'll tell you about that. And I was like, oh, we can save paper, right? And I can put the unit numbers, because then kids aren't like, what's on this test? I don't know. And you can say anything that says unit 5, right? Because it's there. So we started to just add a couple of those little things. And then Kelsey, upgrading her own assignment, took this crash course. Now the crash course, we embedded in something called Blend Space, which we love, right? So it combines a lot of technologies, and it's just one facet of this big project. So that crash course that we had that was just like this random little assignment is now part of a big piece of the World War I unit that we do. And we'll talk more about Blend Space because it's amazing. You totally should use it.
Yes.
But our assignments started to evolve and get much, much better because now we have video and we have some quizzes and we have critical thinking questions and stuff.
So we're gonna have you go back together with your group real quick.
Real fast.
Yeah, now what you're going to do is obviously edit and upgrade. So you cannot change anything. You can just untape what you have. You can try to refold it,
But
edit
you can't
what you
start new
have.
materials.
Yeah.
You're just tweaking and changing what
Yes.
you already have.
And
So
try to
take
put
this-
your star together again.
But collaborate, work as a team. Okay, are you guys willing to share your stars now? Your edited and upgraded stars.
We're proud of it.
Can you just hold, here's one here. Nice.
Oh, very nice.
Oh, they have a decoration on it.
Oh.
It's a double star.
Upgrade. That's an upgrade.
I heard that they were playing with their strengths back there. That's awesome. I like that.
What
It's
about
good.
you guys? Very
Ooh,
nice.
very nice. Very nice.
So one thing I did want to point out, because I noticed this toward the beginning, is a lot of people pulled this Post-it note, which I just thought was an interesting
Yes.
observation because again, it's like this is almost like you're claiming this as your strength. So a lot of you, if you have this Post-it note in your star, you all almost have a similar strength that you're bringing to your collaboration group,
Yeah.
which is good, but also a negative. So it's like you need all these different ones,
Yeah, you
but
need
it
the
sucks
different-
bringing all these together then.
Yeah. Like with the blue star on the front.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So each person saw and worked with the product, and each person made their own upgrades and edits.
Yep. So you can see it started to come together a little bit more, and that's how our assignments were. They weren't perfectly focused yet. We didn't have an awesome plan, but it was starting to look better. The star was coming together instead of being kind of like haphazard and, you know, not as well organized. Okay, so the good from phase 2 is that we really start to improve our resources. As you can see, the jump is pretty significant from a little set of questions to then we have this cool interactive activity the kids are doing. We start to integrate more technology. We start to actually think now about the big picture. Are we actually meeting the unit objectives, or are we just kind of each sort of like taking our piece and working through? So this is more on our radar now. The bad, we're not totally on the same page yet. We haven't totally figured this out. And we still really focus on our assigned sections. Now and then we'll tweak something like making the half sheet or something, but we're still kind of in that tunnel vision with blinders on a little bit. And even though it felt like it at the time, we still weren't truly collaborating. We still hadn't reached that.
So phase 3 is true collaboration, And again, we love it, and you guys that are doing it, obviously you guys know it's amazing. So it definitely is intentional planning. Like when we meet now, it's what's the objective? What's important? What do our kids know? And we all approach the task like that now. Instead of, okay, there's this chapter, there's 4 lessons in the chapter, and we need to break it up. It's what's the important part that we need our kids to know, and how are we going to approach that the best, you know, to make it work, to make it fit the best.
And for the tech teachers, I mean, it totally, even though you may not be able to collaborate that way on a building level,
Yeah.
you can contact the CTCs around you without a doubt in the surrounding counties.
Yes.
And instead of like breaking down your NOCTI task list, you could, you know, kind of develop how much time we're going to spend on each one. What are the things that are really important? Who's doing this the best?
Mm-hmm.
It's just a total shift instead of totally just breaking it up.
Yeah, and I think that was a good point that the keynote speaker brought up about how if you guys are the only ones in your tech area, like you don't have anybody to collaborate, like we definitely, our tech teachers would be more than happy, so please stay
Yes.
after.
We already made some connections with some
Yeah.
teachers from our school, with some of you guys that came to watch. We constantly have people in our building from kind of all over the state coming
Yeah.
to see what our CTC does, to see our labs, to check out how we have academics and technical. So if you want to come or you want to connect with our instructors, definitely. And our instructors are really skilled. We can brag because we don't do this, but our NOCTI rate is like 92 or 90.8. So it is. And we test 100% of the kids. So it's not, we're not just picking some kids. So our instructors have a lot to offer.
Mm-hmm.
It's nice to brag them up since we're not bragging about ourselves.
Yeah. And I think it's important to reiterate too in phase 3, like you're always doing this. Like she said earlier, like we're constantly emailing, we're constantly just like passing each other in the hall, like, hey, where are you at? Oh, okay, I'm there too. Or, I changed this up a little bit. So it's just like always, you're doing it even when you don't think you're doing it.
And we all have a hand in every assignment. Whereas before, if Kelsey made something, I would have been hesitant to be like, hey, I think we should do this or add this or change this because I wouldn't want to hurt Kelsey's feelings.
Yeah.
We're totally past that now.
Yeah.
Kelsey might get something in mind. She's like, no, let's add this in, or oh, this graphic organizer would work. And Mark will say, let's add this critical thinking. So we each literally have a hand in all of our assignments.
Yeah.
And sometimes, like the diesel teacher I work with, we're both working on his assignments. He's saying, hey, look at this, what do you think? Can I embed some Cornell notes here? Or what would work best for this? Or what reading strategy should I use? So we're each touching each piece of the assignment now.
Yeah.
So it was a total shift for us.
So definitely a lot of more critical thinking.
Yeah,
Involved.
our critical thinking has
Yeah.
improved. Our quality of stuff overall has really improved.
So that awful vocab quiz in
Sorry.
the beginning. This is what we're working with now because of editing, updating, and then again, just playing off of our strengths. Like we definitely know who's better at making the vocab
And the
quizzes.
format doesn't look great. It's a screenshot from Schoology, which is our learning management system. It's actually, that's why it looks that way. It looks formatted kind of wonky, but the idea is we style it off of the English vocab quizzes. So the kids aren't just matching definition to word, they're actually using the vocab word in context. And our vocab quiz scores went from like 100 to 65
Yeah.
at the beginning. And we had to really nervous. What happened?
This is what
We had to
happened.
teach them, in life, you don't just provide the definition, you have to actually use it in context. If you're in, mechanic, you're not going to provide the exact definition of what this disc brake is. You have to be able to talk about it in the context of the car and what you're doing.
Yeah.
So that's a fun example for us.
Go ahead, Jen.
Okay, so this was the example that we took you with the crash course questions that then rolled over into the blend space activity. So I took Kelsey's blend space paper, and I was like, you know what, I think we can beef this up even more. So then the next year, I added in, the kids were struggling, like, what box do I find this? Where do I? So I formatted it so the kids know everything in this section here is from box 1. And then it was like reformatting, adding unit numbers,
Organizing queen.
yeah, because I'm a freak, right? So, and then at the end, adding in those important critical thinking questions. And now the kids, it's funny, they're getting used to us always asking so many critical thinking questions. They're like, I actually kind of like them. It makes me think and have an opinion. So they can even see how much critical thinking we're doing in class, how much it's increased. So that's just the evolution of kind of one of our assignments over the years.
All right, so to do full collaboration, now you guys are going to get back with your groups. You have access to any sticky note that you would like, whatever you would like, tape, you let us know. So fully collaborate and make the best star you can possibly make. Good
And
luck.
that's what we do in our classrooms, or as a team. We
Yeah.
sit down and we're like, okay, here's what's the best set of stuff we can come up with the resources we have.
Okay, what do we got left?
So what do you guys think? maybe those of you that were a little leery or a little unsure. So what are your thoughts on this process? You definitely see a difference, hopefully, from your first star, or even I would say the second, honestly.
Right.
Like just the evolution of how it changed.
And if I'm being completely honest, again, this is really embarrassing to admit, but in the beginning, I would have thought that phase one, we really were collaborating. When we were dividing and conquering, like, boy, we're working as a team, and that really wasn't, I mean, it was a step in the right direction, it was a step toward, but when we hit this, where we were really playing to our strengths and adding things in and adding different layers, our lessons just totally changed. Our engagement changed, everything, it was a game changer for us. You can see the product ended up with Post-it notes. But then when you add a real human, skill sets toward an assignment, it's pretty amazing with what you can come up with.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking too, along with this whole activity, there's an element of time
Mhm.
it takes.
Yeah.
Just the comfort level. The first star, we were like, okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then, but
Yes.
the second time, it's just the time that you have. Who has that much time to collaborate to get to the point where everybody's comfortable and can bring their best to the table?
Truly,
Yeah.
it probably took us 3 years to get to the point where we are today, and that's why we really wanted to show you, like, don't lose faith. You can get to where we are. We did have a bit of a jump start because, Kelsey and Mark were my student teachers, so they were already using my stuff, and there was a certain level of trust that was already there. But we did want to talk about the time element, because dividing and conquering, we saved tons of time. It was great, but our stuff wasn't that great for the class.
And you guys can see that in your stars.
Yes.
I mean, your stars show that.
We're at the point now where we truly, at this point, we spend a lot of time collaborating, talking. It's informal a lot of times. We'll show you how we do it. We spend a good amount of time prepping for class, but our stuff is way better because we're all playing to our strengths all the time. So it's not saving us necessarily time. We're spending the same amount of time we would have if we were planning completely for our classes. It's just, to me, I thought collaboration cute because our stuff became exponentially better. When you added on those different layers of what we did, the time investment of what I could make for my class, or the time investment, it was the same time investment, but when we all touched it, it grew exponentially. It didn't even get 3 times better. The stuff just layered, and the cool experiences, and it just exponentially got better and better and better. Okay, so for us, honestly, for us, it's heaven. It's great. It's not necessarily a time saver, but it's been a game changer in the classroom. I don't really have a ton of behavior problems, and I think it's because kids are engaged. And I like them. I mean, I think that's part of it too. But in our classroom, kids are doing meaningful stuff. We give them a project, they're like, and you can, it's a great activity when it's silent. They go to it. All students benefit from all 3 of us in each lesson. They're not getting kind of like my style lesson all the time. They can even pick out now, did Mr. Stuckey make this? Did he have this question? They know sort of each of our personalities and what we bring. There's so many benefits, we love it. We really can't find a negative because it's not even at this point taking us more time. It's just using our time more effectively. And it took time to get there, but truly it's not more time. And finally, we feel like we actually truly are collaborating, we're working together. Some of you asked about if our kids see it. They do see us working together. And I think it's, in class they'll even say, this is such a cool thing, Mr. Stuckey came up with this, or Mrs. Wisman came up with it. And it allows them to see too, you don't have to take credit for everything. It's okay to give props to your teammates. It doesn't all have to be competitive. So that was cool for us.
So yeah, we're just,
go ahead.
go ahead.
Sorry,
Sure.
So you're collaborating, you 3, on the same particular class?
Yes.
Or department?
We are.
But you said you work with a diesel teacher
Yeah.
and things.
Yes.
So, because we're all, different shops,
Mhm.
we're a half day.
Yeah.
So we're all different shops, but some of us, like I have time built into my schedule to work with teachers, with technology.
Yes.
And then that's why I came here to include this.
Yes.
And so can you see it working that way too? I mean,
Oh,
I can.
absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Even between tech teachers, like all of our teachers the kids go through the safety training.
Right.
Well, each teacher, instead of making some boring safety training thing,
Right.
the entire Mantrand wing could get together, and they do to an extent, make a really cool collaborative lesson that all 500 kids go through when they start. So there are lots of opportunities to collaborate on different tasks on the task list, and then also to go outside the building.
Right.
To take that leap of, a lot of times we're in the same building, we don't even see each other.
Yeah.
It's quick phone call, using the tools we show, and you can do that building to building.
Yeah.
So even though you may not be in the same building with your same content, you can still do the exact same thing and use some of the tools we're quickly going to show you. We're texting each other. I try to get them to Voxer because I hate texting. So we can do audio. So we're using lots of different things. The building really doesn't matter. As long as you network with the right people, I think you could do the exact same thing.
So yeah, we're just gonna go through tools real quickly. So Schoology is one thing that we definitely use. This is basically like our resource stash. So this is for US history. We have all our units, and then inside those are everything for each lesson. So the notes we create, the supplements, videos, anything and everything that we would have, we try to store it on Schoology so we all can access it.
Yeah, if we have a set structure, we know where things go, we know where to access, how to tweak.
Right. The Ash Drive's pretty much honestly the same thing as Schoology. I mean, it's just again our
The main
units and
folders and the
then
subfolders.
Right.
We know where everything is, and we're constantly opening and tweaking and saving there so we can all get to it.
yeah. Google Hangout, which is basically just like a little quick chat area.
Which would be helpful for you guys if you're doing from building to building. That could be a really great way to network with the other instructors.
Office 365.
We actually did the presentation through that. We were both working on it at the same
Yeah.
time. That's our collaboration cubed in there.
Padlet. And this is
Embarrassing.
actually the
I mean,
Padlet we use.
I was hungry when I made it, so it's donuts.
Yeah.
That's actually what we used to talk back and forth about things we needed to add or thoughts on different things.
Quizlet.
Yeah, I found Quizlet to be awesome but cumbersome to make every time, so I just made kind of a master account for the school.
And then we
for
would all
our
add to
department. And so I just give it to everybody. And so little mundane tasks like this too. I mean, we were able to provide a lot more for our kids.
Yeah.
YCST history, that's like our name on things, we have to.
Online learning games and technology, so Kahoot, of course, quizzes. So again, it's just breaking it up. Like I'm gonna make the Kahoot, so it's still kind of in ways breaking it
Sometimes
up.
we divide and conquer.
Yeah, still.
So
And
it's a
then
nice mix.
just continue to edit and make it better. And again, blend space.
We love Blend Space. If you've never used Blend Space, you totally should.
Mm-hmm.
It's this neat, it's online, and Kelsey found it. I gotta give her props. It's been a game changer for us. But you can embed, you put all the links and videos and everything you want in there, embed quizzes, and it's all there. You give kids a class code. In fact, we may show you one. We actually learned to put it at the top of the page, like the kid's username, password, and the class code in case they forget it. It's on the paper. And they work through those different things, again, embedding critical thinking and everything.
And then
Blend space?
Blend Space,
Yes.
TES Blend Space.
Now, how is that different from Schoology?
so Schoology is like a learning management system, so you could have anything and everything on there, discussions, all that
discussions.
stuff. Yeah.
Post your
Blend space.
Yeah,
assignments.
because we use Schoology, that's why.
Oh, yeah.
okay.
We actually will put the
We
Blend
love it.
Spaces in
Yeah.
I do love
Okay,
it.
if you love Schoology, you'll love Blend Space.
Yeah.
Really?
Yes.
So-
Instead of just having links listed, it's there in a box.
Okay.
So yeah, it's just like you could put a video in there, next would be a website, next would be a quiz, and you can get all the information from the quiz. And it's just basically, I kind of think of it as a way for them to get the information without using the textbook.
Yeah.
Like it's just really
It's an
a
awesome
way-
supplement.
Yeah.
And you can constantly update and change
And
and
I'm taking them to the website I want them to look at.
They're not just
the
Googling
information
for
I want you to
something.
see is here. Yeah.
and they like it. They enjoy the different format.
We probably should wrap up soon.
Okay.
Do you just
We got
wanna-
we got 5 minutes, we're good.
Okay.
We'll hustle. Most learning styles and most lessons, this is our Vietnam overview. Again, you can see we're combining different things. We have some graphic organizers, we have maps, they're doing activities, reflective questions at the end. There's no way we could have individually done all that.
Here's
but it
the
incorporates,
blend space.
The blend space goes with it. That's the resource they use. So they'll use the textbook, and then specific videos and articles, primary documents can be put in there, and it's all there. It's much more authentic. Because I hate when you use technology and you force it.
Yes.
It's like, I'm going to use technology and then it's awful. So we can authentically integrate there.
And then the stash, we love the stash.
Yeah. So I made binders in the summer one time for them of all the stuff we do. And we have it electronically, and we don't want to fall back into that, well, I have it, we're done, we're just finished. But it is nice at the beginning of the year, we're like, okay, well, we have this, how do we tweak it? So we're constantly, do you want to show the next thing? I
Yeah.
think it's our next, we're constantly reflecting and working on it. So this, now collaboration's in the center of everything. When we teach, we're reflecting, we're collaborating. Even, I may think about it like, Kelsey, what do you think? How'd this go? It's constantly core, central to everything.
And then this is just kind of where we're headed, and Jen had a lot to
Yeah.
do with this.
I'm the department chair, so I work a lot with the English department chair. We work great together. So now we have the Spartan rating formula for constructed keystone responses. It tells the kids exactly what to do. It's specific to our school. We have literature circles that we use in our academic classrooms. Everything is keystone aligned that we do. So we meet, we have literacy push in our classes. We have 10% of our quarter grade is actually dedicated to literacy activities to support the keystones. We're going to have common guides for when we do readings. Again, this would help in tech areas when they actually interact with the text as they go. So it's really kind of blossomed from that.
I'm gonna skip that, Jen.
Okay, and we are even restructuring how we deliver our courses to back English better. Like, that's how big it can get.
So just real quick tips. So again, hopefully you guys already said you're very much collaborating, so just keep it up. Again, we would be more than happy. Our email should be in there on the PowerPoint, so feel free to email us. We can put you in contact with people in our school. So again, just be open, try, don't give up on it, because the
Yeah.
stuff that you get is way better.
And we that's me after collaborating.
Oh, yeah.
Jen's happy opinion now. Yeah. And so in your packets, we included their social studies items, but you can see the different pieces that go into it, just some different examples. And of course, you would not use them, but they would be a good model for like what you can come up with in the end if you want to, if you collaborate. Super helpful. And I feel like we have some street credit on this because when I started at the school, we were in like corrective action 6 for PSSKs. Okay, it was like for real, severe. It was tough. And now our school performance profile is 85.8. So we have really, as a staff, as department chairs, as departments, as tech areas, dug in. Our NOCTIs have gone from 70s to almost 90. So even though we can't quantify the data, the push toward collaboration has been gigantic for us.
So yeah,
Oh, yeah.
do you guys have any questions?
Which snack did you like the most, by the way? The plain pretzel?
No, right?
Or did you
Nobody
like
ate it.
the 3-layer, the collaborative?
I'm gonna like the light.
Yeah, it's like our lessons in class, right? So if you like that chocolate pretzel with the 3 different levels, again, that's what our lessons are like when you each put a piece into the different flavors.
Yeah.
Our culinary kids helped make this.
Yes, they did.
Yeah, so they collaborated with us to do it.
Yeah, so do you guys have any questions
Sorry to
or?
hustle at the end there.
Yeah.
I think this was a great presentation.
Oh, thank you.
I love the analogy of the star and how it built and
Thank you.
you sharing your experiences